Hi, my name is Miss Rizzo. This will be a student-facing video in which I will teach you an adapted version of Passport to Social Studies, Grade 8, Unit 4, Day 11, The Roaring Twenties. So the focus question, and this is the same focus question that was in our original lesson. What led to the social changes that characterized the Roaring Twenties? So the next generation learning standard that I believe was addressed is RH9, integrate information from diverse sources, both primary and secondary, into a coherent understanding of an idea or event, noting discrepancies among sources. And the DLM essential element that I believe was addressed is ELA 11 to 12.9. Compare and contrast arguments made by two different texts on the same topic. So, talk about it with your classmates. What are some popular items, activities, and styles that represent your generation? Think about different aspects of pop culture: movies, television, music, sports, fashion, technology, etc. You can pause the video here to have this conversation. So, this is a painting by Thomas Hart Benton called America Today. So, you can pause, flip back to the painting, and discuss: what do you see? What do you think? And what do you wonder? So, about the painting was created in 1929. What do you think the artist thought was the general mood of the 1920s? What about the painting makes you think that? Do you think everyone felt this way in the 1920s? Why or why not? Pause and discuss with your classmates. Principles and Ideals of the United States Government. This is an excerpt from Herbert Hoover. As a nation, we came out of the war with great losses. Yet during these last 8 years, we have recovered from these losses and increased our national income by over one third. Even if we discount the inflation of the dollar. In addition to evidences of larger savings, our people are steadily increasing their spending for higher standards of living. Today, there are almost 9 automobiles for each 10 families, where 7.5 years ago, only enough automobiles were running to average less than 4 for each 10 families. The slogan of progress is changing from the full dinner pail to the full garage. Our people have more to eat, better things to wear, and better homes. We have even gained an elbow room in our homes. For the increase of residential floor space is over 25%, with less than 10% increase in our number of people. We have increased the security of his job to every man and woman. We have decreased the fear of old age, the fear of poverty, the fear of unemployment, and these are fears which have always been amongst the greatest calamities of humankind. I do not need to recite more figures and more evidence. There is not a person within the sound of my voice that does not know the profound progress which our country has made in this period. Every man and woman knows that their comfort, their hopes, and their confidence for the future are higher this day than they were 7.5 years ago. So, based on the text, this is a little summary I put together. Hoover thinks the United States has rebounded from World War I because the national income has increased. People are spending more money and have higher standards of living. There were now 9 cars for every 10 families, when there used to be only 4 cars for every 10 families. People have more food, better homes, and better clothes. Men and women have more job security. People are less afraid of getting older, of facing poverty, and losing their jobs. So, discuss. If you could use one word to describe this speech, what would it be and why? This would be another good place for you to pause the video and talk to your classmates. Model kitchens from different periods. Model kitchens 1899 and 1924. So, for the next slide, I want you to look at these pictures closely. So, if you need to rewind back, do so. So, look at the pictures and identify three things that are different between them. And how might improvements in home appliances and technologies affect American life in the 1920s? This was a question that from the original lesson that I thought was important to explore in your lesson as well. So I'm just going to quickly flip back to the kitchens to show you what they are, and then I will move on. So this is a movie theater in 1926. Think about it and discuss. Why do you think Americans in the 1920s loved going to the movies so much? How do you think changes in what people did for fun affected life in the 1920s? This is another good moment to pause so that you could talk to your classmates about this. Picture from McClure's magazine. McClure's magazine, female vocalist flanked by musicians. This line drawing from the cover of a popular magazine shows a singer known as a flapper for the style of dress she wore, accompanied by jazz musicians on her right and left. Both the fashion and the music portrayed in this image were new, exciting, and for some, shocking examples of the culture of the roaring 1920s. Discuss. How do you think changes to music and fashion may have impacted life in the 1920s? Another good place to pause this video. So discuss as a class based on these resources. What were some popular items, activities, and styles in the 1920s? And why do you think the 1920s were referred to as the Roaring Twenties? Conclusion. What do you think is the same and what do you think is different between the 1920s and 2021? So, just to conclude, this was a student facing video in which I taught you an adapted version of Passport to Social Studies, Grade 8, Unit 4, Day 11, The Roaring Twenties. Thank you for watching.